In 2023, an extraordinary coup unfolded before the eyes of the world, taking place in the largest nation on Earth. The Wagner Convoy, advancing towards Moscow, had already crossed into the city's province and was now just 200 kilometers away from the capital. Their sole objective was to replace Putin and grant the Russian people a new leader, revealing the desperate state of affairs as rumors surfaced of Putin's escape, while his military tried to defend against the imminent attack from the Wagner soldiers. The situation seemed dire, with reports suggesting Russian officials were relocating nuclear warheads to prevent them from falling into Wagner's hands. But then, a game-changing moment occurred when Prigozhin released a surprising audio recording. It declared the dismantling of PMC Wagner and marked an unexpected twist in the events. On June 23rd, the March of Justice commenced, and the Wagner Convoy covered nearly 200 kilometers towards Moscow without shedding a drop of their fighters' blood. However, at this critical juncture, with the possibility of bloodshed looming, Prigozhin and his forces made a responsible decision. They opted to turn back their convoys and return to their field camps according to their pre-established plan. In a sudden turn of events, the most historic event of the 21st century concluded without any violent confrontation. Experts and spectators were left astounded by the anticlimactic resolution as Prigozhin agreed to leave Russia for Belarus, and the Kremlin dropped the criminal charges against him for treason. In this video, we will delve into the reasons behind Prigozhin's unexpected withdrawal from his attempted coup, shedding light on the factors that led to this decision. I apologize for seeking likes once again, understanding it may bother some of you. However, I devote significant effort to researching, writing, recording, and editing these videos. When a video doesn't receive enough likes, the algorithm assumes it lacks value and my hard work goes to waste. If you find the content beneficial, kindly consider hitting the like button. One possible reason for Prigozhin's withdrawal could be his deception by Putin's puppet Lukashenko. Putin has been a close ally of Lukashenko, evident in their association during the 2020 Belarusian presidential election, which Lukashenko won despite being highly unpopular among his people. Mass protests erupted, endangering Lukashenko's rule, leading him to seek Putin's assistance. Consequently, the Russian army intervened in Belarus, stabilizing Lukashenko's position. In return, Lukashenko facilitated Russian attacks on Ukraine and allowed the alleged placement of Russian nuclear weapons in Belarus. Lukashenko fears losing Putin's support, as he knows he could be next if Putin loses power. Consequently, he was actively involved in negotiations during Prigozhin's attempted coup against the Kremlin. Lukashenko took credit for mediating a deal with Prigozhin to halt the Wagner convoy advancing towards Moscow. The deal's specifics were disclosed by the Wagner camp, including security for Prigozhin's supporters, full immunity for Prigozhin himself, and, importantly, a promise to change leadership within the Russian Ministry of Defense. Prigozhin's initial goal was to seek justice against Sergei Shoigu, as evident from his pre-coup videos. Initially, Prigozhin didn't directly blame Putin for Russia's failures in the war. However, after Putin's address, calling Prigozhin's actions treason, the situation escalated, leading to Prigozhin attacking Putin and hinting at a new president for Russia. This resulted in the expectation that Prigozhin would halt his assault upon being promised a change in the defense ministry's leadership. Following Prigozhin's announcement, Kremlin spokesman Peskov confirmed the deal's existence, but denied negotiations concerning personnel changes in the defense ministry. Consequently, it seems Prigozhin gained little from the deal other than immunity, making no progress towards his initial goal. Since then, Prigozhin hasn't made any public statements but is anticipated to address the public upon arrival in Belarus. For updates on his statement, consider subscribing to my channel, which has received over 1 million views in the last 2 days from non-subscribers enjoying my geopolitical coverage. If you appreciate my content, please click the subscribe button below. There is a possibility that Prigozhin halted his assault for reasons completely unrelated to the current situation. Let's explore other potential scenarios. Prigozhin operates as a businessman, and this entire endeavor could be purely a business affair. As many of you might know, Prigozhin founded the private military group known as Wagner Private Military. Essentially, they are a hired armed force used by Russia to undertake covert operations in locations they wish to avoid officially. These operations are carried out under the orders of the Russian government, with Wagner playing a significant role in Syria to support President Bashar al-Assad's regime. However, their methods have led to severe consequences, including war crimes resulting in this video being heavily restricted and demonetized. Despite the controversial actions, Wagner has gained lucrative contracts for oil and gas fields in Syria, reaping vast profits for Prigozhin. Beyond Syria, Wagner has employed a similar business model in other parts of the world. They control valuable resources such as gold and diamond mines in the Central African Republic and have influence over oil fields in Libya, all through aiding respective governments in their conflicts. Clearly, Prigozhin is driven by business interests, and his involvement in the Ukraine conflict was likely a business arrangement where he received payment from the Russian government for executing highly brutal attacks beyond what the Russian army could openly undertake. As his rapport with the Russian Ministry of Defense soured, he came to the realization that the business deal he had entered into was not in his favor. Despite Russia's struggling economy due to sanctions, he doubted it would deter them from paying Wagner. It seems the main issue stemmed from his relationship with the head of the Ministry of Defense, who held animosity towards Prigozhin. This scenario could be likened to someone disliking you while still being obliged to pay you, much like my experience with YouTube restricting my videos, though they still expect me to engage my viewers. Now, the speculation arises that he might have devised this plan to exit the fighting in Ukraine with his dignity intact, making it a clever business move. Another theory suggests that when Prigozhin initiated his coup, there were strong beliefs that he had support from influential elites within the Russian government. People supported this idea due to the lack of opposition Wagner Group faced from FSB agents at the Ukraine-Russian borders and in Rostov, almost as if they had been instructed to let the Wagner convoys pass through. However, after Wagner's takeover of Rostov and government headquarters with minimal resistance, public loyalty to Putin was professed by every high-level Russian official. This move was likely aimed at reassuring the public and demonstrating their disassociation from Prigozhin's actions and his clandestine backers. They probably didn't anticipate this outcome. Their hopes were pinned on the Wagner Group gaining proximity to Moscow, expecting more officials to rally behind Wagner and oppose Putin's government. However, the stark reality hit them hard as not a single official publicly supported Wagner. This undoubtedly deflated their optimism. Any officials who had considered backing Prigozhin must have realized the risk involved and chose to publicly endorse Putin instead, avoiding the peril of backing a losing cause. Their actions might have influenced Ferguson to accept an unfavorable deal during negotiations, achieving nothing substantial. Although just a theory, it holds credible ground. Numerous other speculations are circulating, but I'll only focus on the ones with the highest credibility. A recent Telegraph article cited UK security sources, alleging that Russian intelligence services threatened harm to the Wagner leaders' families before Prigozhin called off his advancement on Moscow. It would be logical to assume that, given such a threat, Prigozhin opted to step back to safeguard his family. Yet, there's an unsettling feeling about this narrative. Prigozhin might have already anticipated Putin's tactics, as it's common for powerful figures to retaliate against loved ones when challenged. Perhaps Prigozhin had his family in a secure location, hoping they'd remain hidden from Putin's people. However, they managed to locate his family, leading to his decision to halt the march and accept exile in Belarus. More information is likely to emerge in the coming days. This is an evolving news story, and to stay updated with the latest developments, like and subscribe for more economic trends. Thank you.